You call yourself a man? You know you're a lying, low-life, motherfucking gambling degenerate prick. You know that's what you are?
Well, hello, you degenerate fucks, and welcome to the Degenerate Gambler. It is Thursday, the 8th of December. I'm actually recording a bit late today. It was my 40th birthday yesterday, so I was spending some much needed quality time with the family. But I wasn't going to leave you hanging, so I have got two bets picked out for the weekend. The championship is actually back this weekend. Not that there's a lot of great fixtures, but yeah, so two bets picked, back to normal. Obviously, I'll still have a wee dabble in the World Cup, which hasn't been great, let's be honest. Also currently down with the worst man flu ever. You probably hear it in my voice, but hey, I'll crack on. So last week, we did have some English football. My bets were a piss poor. I'll just run through them at the minute. So Dagenham Redbridge was beat. Wrexham drew one each. Scored late, then conceded even later. Dumbarton was a draw, I think. Brackley won and Eastbourne Borough won. The overs, I ended up getting a bit of a sweat. There was goals in most of the games, but um, MK Dons Burton beat. Leighton Orient Bradford was up. Gateshead Aldershot beat. Peterborough Farsley beat. And then Northampton Tranmere beat. Now they were all most of them were early because most of the kickoffs were about 12:30. And even before we get into this week's bet, so there's obviously, like I say, there's Championship, League One, League Two, National North, South, all that. But most leagues have 3 or 4 games on early, so I will pick a bet early on Saturday morning because there's plenty to choose from. But as I say, I've still got two bets for the 3 o'clock kickoffs. But I will come back with early Saturday morning with a nice bet. Because a few of the fixtures that I looked at, it was before I realised they were early. We're going to go in these bets, so there's definitely enough there for a decent early bet. Then my late bet Saturday, which was basically Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock. Dumbarton, who I had in the early bet, beat Northampton, drew nil each. Dundee both to score, they didn't. Queen's Park won, and Clyde was beat as well. So not great. Before I do the favourites, I've just basically done everything up to the last game in the group stages of the World Cup. And a lot of people saying it's the worst World Cup for betting, ever. And I think the stats will kind of sort of back that up. But before I get to that, so Sunday I was robbed. Anybody who follows me on Twitter may have saw I posted. Had a bet in the polling game. A bet builder was paying 140. On the 87th minute, I needed 4 throw-ins. I needed Matty Cash to be booked, and I needed any other booking, another booking to make it 3 bookings. It was offering me 16p to cash out. Then Matty Cash gets booked, which gave me 2 more green ticks. So obviously Matty Cash being carded, and also that put me over the 3 bookings. So that was 2 green ticks, and basically all I needed was 4 throw-ins. And the cash out went away and never came back, which I don't understand how that happens. How can it offer me 16p and then a player who at the start of the game was 4-1 to get booked and was probably a lot higher in play because obviously it was near the end of the game, and they don't offer a cash out. It was BET365, so I messaged the cunts knowing that I wouldn't get the money. They weren't going to pay me out, but just to see what their sort of excuse was. So I put forward a scenario, gave him the bet reference, blah blah blah, and he usual bullshit. Cash out can be suspended for any number of reasons and whatever, blah blah blah. And I was like, but cash out wasn't suspended in the match. You were still taking live bets. No suspended on the bet itself. It just wasn't offering me a cash out. And he was like, oh, different reasons why cash out, things that are happening. I was like, but nothing was happening. I only needed 4 throw-ins, and I got 2. So, and this is what pissed me off even more, is that almost identical thing happened the Sunday before in the Germany-Spain game, where I needed 4 throw-ins. It was exactly the same, £140 bet. Need 4 throw-ins with a few minutes left plus injury time. And if I think I talked about this the other week, where it offered me 86, I didn't take it. It went down to 70 odds, got a throw-in, back up to 86. I didn't take it. Then when it went to 70, whatever it was, 3 or whatever, I took it. Then another throw-in happened, and then it ended up would have been beat by one, but the cash out was going up down based on what was happening in the game, and that's what should have happened with this one. But I honestly think that the cunts knew that I took that one the week before, and that I would probably take that one, and they just blank out cash out. And I have to say, even the guy who was on the chat was sort of saying, "Look, I understand your frustration, but cash out can blah blah blah." And I was like, "But how can you offer me a cash out before a player's booked, and then not offer it after he is booked? Surely my cash out should shoot away up there." And he was giving me all these just basic responses and whatever. And then he says, I mean, we understand, blah, 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 all this shit, and we'll give you your money back. And I was like, do you know what? Keep it. And he was like, really? You don't want your steak returned? And I was like, no, because returning the steak to me means that I'm accepting that what you did was all right, and it didn't. Now, you may call me a fucking dick because I could have took that fiver and bets, won it. But to me, it was about the principle. I'm not going to let them buy me off for a fiver. The fucking dirty bastards that they are. But again, it's just another reason why people just don't like bookmakers, because the game's rigged. You know, they're happy to take your money when you're losing, but they hate to pay you out when you win, and they'll do anything they can not to pay you out. I mean, one of the responses he put forward was, "Our main aim is to provide a service that allows you to gamble responsibly. Cash out and other things are like extra." And I was like, "Yeah, but you were offering me cash out, but then all of a sudden you weren't." So basically, basically they just do whatever they want. But as I say, so like, if it wasn't Bet365, I'd probably fucking boycott them. But they are the best bookmaker, especially for bet builders. Far more choice, what the things you can bet on, throw ins, goal kicks, things like that, on their great prices. But I'll definitely be, you know, I won't be putting as much money into it as I did, because other bookmakers do similar prices. Like Paddy Park prices are quite good, but maybe not for bet builders, stuff like that. So I'll definitely be spreading money about a bit more, giving the cunt money. But yeah, so rant over, but I do think it was robbed there. So say I'll get on to the final matches in the group stages of the World Cup. So I'll give you the matches from, I think it was Sunday to Wednesday, and then I'll give you the totals all together. So in the last 3 days, I think it was, of the group stages, there was 5 favourites that won, one draw, and 6 outsiders. In the overs, there was 7 yes and 4 nat. In total, um, of the 48 games that was in the group stages, 25 favourites won. There was 10 draws and 13 outsiders. And in the over in that over, there was 21 games over and 27 that. So again, there you go. Having 13 outsiders win in 40 games is quite big. Only 25 of 48 is, that's about 50%. So it seems okay, but realistically, a lot of those games aren't worth betting on. Teams are 1 to 12, 1 to 10. And in the overs, like I say, 21, so that's less than 50%, are over 2.5. So not great. As I say, a lot of people were complaining about the World Cup. Betting hasn't been great. So listen, we've only got, what have we got? We've got some matches during the week. We'll have some matches the weekend, which is the quarterfinals. Then the semis are Wednesday and Thursday, and then the finals next Sunday. So it'll be over soon enough, and we'll be back to our usual football. So anyway, I'll get on to this week's bet. So I'll run through this, and then I'll come back and I'll go over the reasons why. So first team is Woking at home to York. They are 8 to 13. That's 1.62. Chester at home to Alfreton, 3 to 4. That's 1.75. Linfield away to Keelty Hearts. That's 19 to 20. That's 1.95. Queen's Park at home to Montrose. That is 7 to 10. That's 1.7. Darlington away to Gloucester City, 11 to 8. That's 2.38. So as you can see, even though the championship and all is back, again, most of my bets are in the lower league, because looking through the fixtures, a lot of tough fixtures this week. And And then with the break in the championship, no, you just don't know who's sort of coming back in decent form and who's not. Um, so yeah, I have, you know, I've sort of went a bit left field and just done as best as I can to. Oh, hold on, sorry.
Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Okay, sorry about that. That was my Bluetooth speaker trying to fucking connect to my phone, so I don't know what happened there anyway. Um, right, okay, I'm having all the technical glitches today. My wife's ringing me there, so had to pause. Sorry. So I've read the bet out. I'll now go into the reasons behind each one. So Woking, Woking at home to York. Um, in the table, Woking are third. York 18th form. Woking are top with 13 points. York only 2 points in the last five. Woking's last five at home. They won, drew, lost, won. York away from home, lost, draw, lost. So home form on that one. Next we have Chester. Chester are home to Alfreton. Chester currently third. Alfreton 13th. Form Chester second with 13 points. Alfreton are actually bottom with only 2 points. Chester's home form's not great. They're 11th in the table, the home table. Alfreton 13th in away form. But Chester have won their last five matches altogether. In their last five home, they've won, drew, one, draw. And Alfreton have lost four in a row away and won the game before that. So even though Chester's home form or overall form at home hasn't been great this season, they have been good recently. Next is in this cup, this Scottish Cup that has the sort of Welsh and Northern Ireland teams in it. So Linfield play Keelty Hearts, and obviously there's no point going into form and league stuff and all, but Linfield are in pretty good form. They've beat some of the top teams in the league recently. They had a bit of a dip, but they beat Glentoran in the cup the other night. That's a big rivalry. They also beat Larne, who are top of the league, at home the other week. So that's my kind of thinking in that. And then Queen's Park, similar, good home form, doing well in their league. Montrose are a league below, so that's the thinking on that one. Then last, Darlington versus Gloucester. Now this is a big price. Darlington's second in the league behind Brackley. Gloucester are 10th. In the form, Darlington have 10 points, are sitting fourth in the form table. Gloucester 6 points, sitting 15th. Gloucester's last five at home. They've lost three in a row at home. They won the two before that, and Darlington have won four in a row away from home and lost the one before that. Um, so look, this could be a tight game, but I thought 11-8 was a big price, but I still do fancy uh, Darlington to win that game. Now I'll get on to the overs. To be fair, again, a very tough week to pick them, similar to last week, and I'll run through them quickly. So Morecambe Charlton, 19 to 20, that's 1.95. Exeter Sheffield Wednesday, 19 to 20, another 1.95. Stevenage Mansfield, 43 to 40, that's 2.08. Chesterfield Dorking, 13 to 20, that's 1.65. Southport Boston, 4 to 5, that's 1.8. Um, in total, the overs bet is 21 to 1, and the main bet, the bets to win, is 20 to 1. So it's quite big. Maybe be worth a cash out on that. But that's the two bets for next week. Looking ahead to midweek, there's not a lot on, but Tuesday night there's 10 National League games, 11 National League North, 8 National League South. There's 8 EFL Cup games and one World Cup semi-final game. On Wednesday, one National League game, one National League South, and the other World Cup semi-final. So not massive next week, but got some big games around the World Cup. Probably do bet builders and those. But that is basically it for this week. I will. Let me see. How long are we to Christmas? I'll probably do an episode next week, yes, and maybe even the Christmas week. But obviously, I won't have one sort of the week after Christmas, sort of between Christmas and New Year. Take a week off, and then come back with sort of Christmas review show. Over Christmas, I will be doing what I normally do, and that's betting on all the live televised games with small bet builders. But I'll be posting bets as normal. Um, one other thing I did mean to mention was I posted my profit loss for November on Monday there. It was my biggest month um, of winnings that I've had since this season. I think it was somewhere in the region of 300 or £400. Um, it could have been more because there was weeks there that I went a bit mad in the World Cup. Didn't really get nothing back, but yeah, I think in total for the season I'm around £800 in profit, and we're sort of at the halfway point. Well, we will be by the end of December. So if I can keep going along like that, that could be around about 1,600 profit for the season. I'll take that. But yeah, so that's basically it for this week. It just leaves me to say, if you are doing a bet, good luck and happy punting.
Here, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, thanks. Let me find out you fucked up. I'll leave you wherever I find you.